Hey, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Adrian here. Welcome to the vlog. As always, hope you're staying safe and well amidst all these times. I know right now it's crazy times, and that's a lot of what's being dominated in terms of content. But I do want to talk about something that, as a result of this, what I think is an interesting topic, and that's the future of the work from home landscape. Work from home, telecommute, remote presence, whatever you want to call it, coming out of this kind of post COVID and even going into like the future and what that looks like as a whole. For example, today in a big announcement, Twitter CEO, Twitter social media platform, follow me at Kidiru, announced that it will be a permanent option going forward to work from home for all of their employees. Phrasing it in the sense that when they open up their offices again, when they think it's safe and well, it's going to be up to them as a company, Twitter, to do so. However, when employees choose to come in to the offices, it's going to be completely up to them. I think this is a huge move on Twitter's part, and I want to give them props because they're giving the option. They're viably saying that any employee who wants to work from home for the foreseeable future may do so. Whether you want to wait 4 months to go back to the office, 5 months, 6 months, completely up to you. So, again, it's a really, really big precedent move, not just in the tech industry, but for a company to do in general as a whole. And I think it's going to speak volumes to what other people in the industry do as well as outside of that, because I'm here to acknowledge and, of course, accept that technology and the tech industry is in its own bubble. Silicon Valley, where I currently live and reside, is in its own bubble, and it's more accepted here in a place like this, in an environment like this, whereas other industries it may not be or may not even be possible. I don't think the future of work from home or the landscape of it looks like everyone is work from home. I don't think that's viable nor feasible. However, I think the option of having it in a lot of industries is important. And here's why I think a lot of that is expanding in relation to everything that we have going on. Currently, I think statistics show it's like 3.5% of employees, and I think in the US at least, are actually like work from home. I need to triple check those facts. But I do know that the Workplace Analytics posted a study that shows that they predict going into 2021 post COVID that 20 to 30% will be in the kind of work from home capacity, meaning that even if it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, whether it's 5 days a week, that employers will offer that as an option. And within good reason. Right now, I think one of the big things with all of us being forced to work from home and, some capacity if your job allows that, of course, that's a privilege in itself, is that the reduced stigma and fear around it. A lot of the fear and stigma from employers saying, like, I don't know if it's possible, I don't think it's going to be productive, as well as the employees thinking, like, I don't think I could work from home, X, Y, Z. A lot of that on both sides has been reduced because, well, we're forced to do it, and here we are, and we're some companies and people are thriving because of it. Some are doing better. Some are just seeing that it is to somewhat degree possible to do so. So I think there's been a lot of reduced fear and stigma around it just because of the situation we're in. Furthermore, I think that we have a lot more tools at our disposal this day and age in 2020. Slack, Zoom, all these things that allow us to run full-on conference rooms and, professors host classes on college-level courses to multi-billion-dollar companies running all remotely via these tools like email, Slack, etc. Furthermore, from a business perspective, of course, there's a cost savings angle. If you have less people in the office, it may require less costs and overhead, as well as just physically less office space if you don't need it. Again, on the employee side, there's a lot of amenities and benefits that come from it, not having to commute, not having to travel to work, having the comfort to work from home. And again, that in itself, as always, comes with its own trade-offs. Ultimately, though, it's interesting. It's interesting for me to see a company like Twitter do this because coming from an area like Silicon Valley, having personally worked with a lot of startups and have a lot of clients who, embody this startup vibe and culture where a lot of it is centered around the physical office space. We know clients who have catered breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which I've benefited off of. Clients who offer like nap pods and shuttle services to and from work. This whole environment to create a second home in the office because it's a part of the culture, and if it keeps you in the office, it keeps you working. And this kind of, and to some degree, goes against that, right? But if anything, it adds on to that potential work-life balance, however you want to look at it. Again, I think the important thing here is that we're seeing companies offer the option of this, or at least pursue the option of this, whether or not in the long run it's going to be viable for them or not. I think it is an important avenue to start looking at with all this stuff going on. I think right now in the beginning of this whole shelter-in-place quarantine, we saw a little bit of people get used to working from home, and we saw productivity shoot up. I don't have any numbers to back this up. This is just my own personal perspective of people I know and things I've seen. And we saw that spike in productivity in the beginning as people got a hang of it. And then slowly, in relation to the quarantine and the shelter in place expanding, like it did today, for example, in LA, we've seen that productivity slowly kind of taper off and or drop in some degrees. And I think that's in relation to like people's mental health is genuinely being affected by this shelter in place being expanded and getting used to that and growing restless and getting tired of being cooped up and not being able to see their family and friends. And that's totally reasonable and understandable and would make sense why productivity may drop to some degree. I think it's different, however, in the future where work from home is an option, for example, like Twitter. However, you still have the option and the freedom to go outside, to go see your friends, to go see your family, to not have to worry about a global pandemic. I think when those things and factors are out of the equation, work from home is a very viable option and it's a very possible thing in this day and age. Is it totally possible for all industries and insert job here? No, that's true, but it is one that is an option. I think companies like Twitter are leading the way with this. That said, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions. Are you currently working from home? Does your job offer that? Is it something that you could see yourself doing for the long run? Maybe not. Leave them down in the comments below. Love to discuss. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, hope you're doing well. Stay safe. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.